welcome to another episode of My Derby Romance. I again would like to thank everybody who supports and watches this podcast. Today I am here with Daisy Fever. Would you like to introduce yourself?
Yeah, so Daisy Fever is my Derby name. I skated Derby for about 13 years till COVID, and now I'm officially retired. And I am currently still with Rocktown Roller Derby out of Little Rock, Arkansas. So Rocktown's been an official league since late 2017 because we merged, our two local leagues merged and we became a unit, and now we're all Rocktown. So it's been an incredible journey to merge with another team and to build on that. And our rivals at one point are now my teammates. So it's been really good.
That's so beautiful, especially because you split up fans that way. I think, like, from what I've noticed from here, and if you can get them in one big group,
yeah.
Like, I feel like it makes just for a better, fan base support,
Yeah.
as far as merch and ticket sales. Excuse me, as far as merch and ticket sales, and support, from your city and whatnot. That's beautiful. And I bet you that was difficult because we talk about the different kinds of derby that's out there. There's like renegade, there's whipta, there's flat track, there's bike track, there's all sorts of different aspects of it, which is beautiful because there's derby for everyone. But at the same time, to have like the same ideals, you'd have to have like the same goal, at least. Like, hey, we want to start really getting our ranking up, or we really want to make money for the league and support the city or the community with, outreach, whatever it would be. You'd have to like be able to come together at least one thing,
Yeah. Well, we were both WIFTA teams. They were the ranked team. They played for actually under WIFTA rankings, and they were, maybe like lower hundreds, maybe early 200s. I can't remember where they were ranked. And then we had the 501 nonprofit. So when we were able to merge, all we had to do was name change for them, name change for us. So we got to keep the rankings, and they got the nonprofit part. So it really worked better for both leagues to just become one. We both started losing members. And we were borrowing members. So we actually started just practicing with each other. They had lost their practice space. And then we were like, well, why don't you just kind of pay half our rent? We'll practice together. And then it was, well, can we borrow some of your team? Can I borrow some of your team? We're like, why don't we just become a thing? And it all just kind of worked out in this weird, fun, interesting way that I've never seen anybody else do. I'm sure they have. But it was it was fun. It was hard, making sure that we were doing everything right and legal, and making sure that WIFTA was happy and the government was happy. That I think just ultimately it was better for everybody, because without each other, I think we would have both eventually dissolved. And without the support of every person that put their time and sweat and tears into making it become Rocktown, without them, and without the support of everybody, the support of our families and our fans. And now we're in our local, big, huge local skating rink that everybody knows in downtown Little Rock, that you don't have to say, oh, we practice some random school, house. And now it's like, oh, the Arkansas Stadium is? Yeah, we go there. So, and they've been very supportive of us as well.
Yeah, you're right. Like, I've never heard of that. And out of all the interviews that I've done so far, I've never heard that, from any other skaters. So I think that is so lovely. So when did you fall head over skates for roller derby?
Oh, a very long time ago. If you've been around long enough, you will remember the TV show Roller Girls, the documentary that they did on A&E in 2006.
I remember it. I never watched it though.
Yeah, and I did. I was pre-children. I've got 2 kids now, but that was pre-kids. And luckily, some little local team had started something up in a little small town, right, 15 minutes away from me. And then just kind of snowballed from there. That, they didn't really work out. And then about a year later, somebody else picked it up. And that's really where the 2 teams started, was probably about 2007. So I really started in 2007. After I kind of started with that first one in 2006, but I got pregnant shortly after that. And like I said, they kind of moved on and did bigger things later. And then I started when my baby was 9 weeks old. In my current skating rink now, is where I first, and I think the very first time I ever played, it was 6-on-6. Just trying to do a little exhibition bout for our family. About 6 months later, nobody knew what they were doing. And kind of been around ever since. I've had a second kid since then. I've got 2 teenage boys, and they don't know anything other than me playing derby. So I've met a lot of people that don't do it anymore, but they're teammates for life.
Yeah, I can totally relate to that. My son was 9 months, I think, when I started skating in 2008.
Yeah.
And I have a daughter. After first season, I got pregnant and had my daughter, and they've always known me doing derby. And now I'm actually like also slowing down. I'm on an LOA right now. Don't know how I'm gonna feel at the end of November, right? But like still support it completely and think it's amazing. But yeah, I think my body's a little tired.
I know after last year, 2020 was going to be, I was going to retire at the end of the season, like officially, and make a big deal out of it. And then we didn't get to do anything. So now that I've been off for a year and a half, or over a year and a half, we're not even back yet. So I just know my body. I'm almost 40. I played for a long time. Only just in the last 4 or 5 years did I really start taking care of myself, physically and emotionally. So my body's been through a lot, and I don't want to make it worse. And but I'm still around. I'm on the board, and I help coach sometimes. I mean, I'm not a coach, but when you've been around it long enough, you can tell people what to do anyway.
Yeah.
But and I can't imagine. My girlfriend is still, that's how we met, was roller derby. So when we get back, she'll be still doing it. All my teammates are still going to be a part of it. So it's my friends, it's my family. So I can't just leave them high and dry yet.
I understand completely. That's my family too. Yeah, and I'm 43. So like I know there's older skaters out there, and oh man, I celebrate you. You're amazing. But even after being in this car accident and seeing what my back looked like, not knowing that it looked like that, like I have like a slightly dislocated shoulder that is just like that. Where in the beginning, before we started using hips, it was all shoulder,
Right.
and so I actually have like this like weird protruded like bone that it doesn't look like this on this side, and it just kind of like,
So how many more times can you get hit before it's done?
yeah, it's crazy. But yeah. So how did your first derby date go, whether it be your first practice or bout or both?
Like I said, so long ago. Like I said, the first time we truly played for a crowd, it was like maybe 6 versus 6 or maybe 7 versus 6. We only had a handful of skaters. And that was back when it was real fast, and there wasn't a whole lot of stopping, and so it was a lot of fun. We did I think we did 30 minutes, because that was back in the day that you could choose 2 30 minutes or 3 20-minute.
I remember that.
Yeah. I can't remember.
2-minute jams. It was like.
And 1-minute penalties and minors and majors and helmet covers. We had our star was a Velcro. They didn't
I've seen that.
come in, so we Velcroed the stars. So I remember little things like that. But who won, who fell, I don't remember it much of that. But that would have been my first game, first practice. Again, that was 2006. So it's probably scary. I probably didn't know anybody, but that was back when I was fearless and had no children, and practices were at like 9 p.m. to 11 p.m., stayed out all night, went back to work the next morning. But now it's a lot different. So I want to be in bed by 9 now.
Yeah, no, it is. I remember we actually used, before we got panties, which viewers who don't know what panties are, because they're not in derby, they're helmet covers and we call them panties. But we actually used panties until we got like real panties.
Yeah, I believe we've done that at one point when we probably when for the longest team I was with was we called it grits, like the food, but girls rolling in the South roller derby. And when we officially like chose colors and all that, I think we practiced with, just went and bought some acts. I think we've done that too before, just different colors. Yeah.
Mhm. I think helmet covers should have panties on them. I don't know. That would be cute.
Yeah.
So your alter ego, how did you find it?
Just, I don't know. I like daisies. That's my favorite flower. I will mention, I think one of the coolest things that I've said about my name or calling it an alter ego is you heard all these years, you've always heard people say, well, I'm this person on the track and I'm this person in real life. And so you really have that alter ego and then that person who you are in your mundane life. And I never had that. I was always the same person. I'm like, what you get here is what you're also going to get here. So when it came to my name, it wasn't badass. Didn't sound mean or, I couldn't really grapple with anybody over the name, but it was like, it kind of sounded real sweet and charming. And then it was like, but once I'm on the track, I'm not sweet and charming. And so maybe that was kind of an alter ego. Is it by the name? I don't sound super scary, but on the track, I'm gonna get you. But I don't know. I like daisies, and I guess I have a fever for daisies. I don't know. It was always kind of dumb, but it stuck. And everyone knows me as Daisy now. My girlfriend calls me Daisy, and when I'm in my derby persona, to say, even my family will call me Daisy, and before they call me my real name. So it's been around for so long that it's everywhere. I have daisies tattooed on me. I could look around this house. I've got daisies everywhere. So like your hat, I noticed your hat, even though it's not full on daisies, but I can see where, like, to me, I'm like, ooh, bright colors and flowers. And to me, that's something I would wear because it looks like a daisy to me.
Right. Yeah, I love flowers. I feel the same. I don't feel like my name is really like that cool. And as many times as I tried to change it, like I'll always be Harley, like people still call me Harley. So like, I think when home team, I tried to change it to one of the names that I had thought of like in the very beginning, but I never thought I was going to be a jammer, but it was Jam and Joplin. And I put it was literally on my jersey for home team. And nobody, even when they like were like calling us out, like, to introduce the teams, like they still call me Harley Hitter. And so I was like, oh, well, like it was even on the jersey, but okay. Like, but, and it's fine. I don't think that it's especially that cool either, but like, it's my name.
I think it's cool. So,
thank you.
I
like
people,
your name too.
Yeah. So we're always so hard on ourselves that we can't just enjoy what we have. We have to let somebody else tell us it's cool before we think it's cool.
Right. And then you see somebody with like really cool name and you're like, man, I wish I would have thought of that. Like,
yeah. Well, and that's like my derby wife, her name's Meat Socks, and she got her name, and it's SOX instead of SOCKS, because we didn't skate together when she first started, but she always wore socks that said meat or had pieces of meat or bacon or something. Somebody just dubbed her Meat Socks, so it stuck.
Yeah.
So it's like some people are given their names and some people choose their names.
Yes. So then I have a question. Have you ever felt like you lost Daisy Fever? And if you have, how did you get her back again?
Yes and no, I guess, because no, as in like I just mentioned, everyone still calls me Daisy. So when it comes to the name and it's on my Facebook, I don't go by that outwardly by my real name when it comes to social media. So it's hard to say that I lost her in a sense when it's still there every day to me. But so that'd be the no, but then the yes, as in COVID, you know, I, it's derby. It's my name is my roller derby name. And if I'm not doing roller derby, you know, I'm not Daisy Fever on a track anymore. But now knowing that I'm officially retired, but I could see where she's going to come back. You know, we're starting back here a little pretty soon. So I think being able to be on skates and be in that derby mind frame, even though I'm not skating, I think that she'll be outwardly projecting a little bit more when it comes to the roller derby side of me. When I actually get to be there and be present in roller derby in general.
Yes. What were you looking for in roller derby?
At the beginning, to look like a badass. You know, it just looked so cool and I wanted to be a part of that. And it just seemed like something that I wanted to always do and didn't know that I even liked sports. And I still don't really like sports, but I really like roller derby or any sort of skating in general now. But I think ultimately, I didn't have a lot of friends and I wanted to feel good about myself. And I guess it just, you know, having something to do and feeling good about it when I was done. And I've had that for over a decade now. And it only got better. It got bad at sometimes and I'd cry a lot. But ultimately I will never be upset that I've done it this long and I've been a part of it this long. Because it's my life now. It took a whole lot from me. But I wouldn't give it up for the world. I wouldn't change a thing.
Real quick, I forgot to mention earlier that, or maybe I did tell you, I'm not sure. So I want to get all this footage and I'm going to make a documentary.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, because it was during COVID and I feel like I kind of captured a bunch of skaters during the time that we were not skating. So I'd love to do like a documentary about that and how people felt without skating and really just gave people a platform to share their story like I did in my book. Basically, what I did is like what I talked about in my book, I put the questions that I kind of talked about in my book so that people can also tell their story. And it's your derby romance, right? So like, one of the things that is forever said in every interview is the community. People need community. And so like, you know, so that I don't mean to like jot things down when you're talking, but do I have your permission to use some of the footage that we have for the documentary? That
100%. Yeah, that's awesome.
Because I would like to be like, so I'm going to be talking and be like, well, a lot of the women or a lot of the people, because I have non-binary, a lot of the people that I interviewed talked about the community, and then I'll have like different cut pieces of people saying, I needed friends, I needed this, I was alone, I came to a new city and had nobody, blah, 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 you know what I mean, back and forth, and just have like that. Oh, and I feel like it's just going to be so powerful, and I hope people watch it.
I'm 100% happy to be a part of that. Thank you so much.
Cool. Let's see. Next question. What have been some of your obstacles, things that have come between you and roller derby?
I would say the biggest thing that was an obstacle for me was probably my demeanor and attitude towards other people and not having an understanding that everybody's different and can have an opinion. I took a long time realizing that other people's opinions are valid and I can be wrong. I don't always have to be right. And so learning that and losing, I'm going to cry, losing some friends in the process of learning that was probably I'm really about to cry.
That's okay.
But then getting those friends back later
Mhm.
and apologizing for it, because I was not a nice person for a very long time. I hated everybody. And I didn't know how to apologize and be a better human. Um, but in my defense, I've been a single mom for a very long time. And I think some of that would have been, making sure I'm taking care of them, but then also feeling like roller derby's my time. So you get to hang out with the sitter. Bye.
Mhm.
And maybe they never got in my way by any means. I feel like it was more of me brushing off my kids to go play roller derby and maybe not being present for them enough. So I think those would probably be two obstacles that I feel like impacted me the most over these last many years. I'm a better human now, and I like people more, and I give people the respect that they deserve. And they didn't get that from me for a long time, and that was due to my own issues. Therapy has been amazing for myself and everybody around me.
I can totally relate to that. And I think that that's another reason why I haven't felt the need to skate as much or go to practice. I remember I've also been a single mom for most of the time that I've had my kids, and I did need to like go skate. And like now it's more like I don't mind being home. It's not so scary being alone with them and them needing things from me as much, where I need to like, I need to go skate. I need to go spend time with other people and be aggressive and just let things out. Now it's kind of like, oh, I kind of just like staying home with my kids, like, but I feel that that's okay because I think Derby met me there, like gave me what I needed when I needed it. And I always see Derby, well, no, I've recently noticed that Derby is medicine, just like everything else. And I needed that. And it did take a long time for Derby to heal a lot of the things that I needed to heal. And I feel now that like it's done its job, I feel very well-rounded. Like you said, it touched me in areas where I needed more like support, where I was weak, it made me strong. It was somewhere I could get my strength back. And it's taught me some things and about myself and about other people. And like, you're right. A lot of the time I was bothered I did play sports growing up. Like that was my normal. I had a lot of problems at home. I didn't like to be home very much. So playing sports kept me out of my house a lot, and I got like what I needed that I wasn't getting at home from like my coaches, like the praise, good job,
Right.
things like that. So when I came into Derby and some people just wanted to look cool, like wear the fishnets and like not really practice. And I was just like very annoyed, like, when I would hear like, well, what are we going to wear? And blah, blah, blah. I'd be like, how are you going to play? Like, and it would bother me. Like, who cares what you wear if you're losing? You know what I mean? Like, I had this like mentality, like, and I had to go back to like, everybody joins for their own reasons. This is their space too, for whatever they want to experience here. And it was hard for me to lose. And it was hard for me to, be like not have people who didn't want to work as hard as I wanted to work. You know what I mean? Like, but eventually I did kind of grow out of that too. You know what I mean? Like,
Well, I think because you feel like you're putting so much work into it.
yes.
And when your teammate, or even maybe not even your teammate, but your fellow league mate isn't putting in as much time or effort, in the long run, we're all volunteers. We're all paying to do this. We're not getting paid. And I think and we're nowhere near a high level team, but that doesn't invalidate other people. Just because they don't want to put as much work in, you're going to put you're going to get out of it what you put in. And if their all is my 20%, that should not invalidate the reason they're there. And it took a long time to understand that and to be understanding and to not feel so angry with them,
Yeah.
you know. And I feel like you're always going to have those people, and that's okay. Because if my 20% is your 100%, that is amazing. And I'm happy you're here and you're getting out of it what you need. And that's okay.
Because they're paying to be there too.
Right.
They're paying their dues. You know, it's like if you pay for your gym membership and never show up, that's on you, boo-boo. You know,
Okay.
like,
yeah, and that's all right. And that's what you want to do, and that's fine.
because I do that. I have my gym membership and I just give them money every month.
Luckily, I've got a little small home gym, so I don't have to get out of my house and do anything.
I do too. I am the type that, like, if I'm not working towards something, like, to me, just having a good body isn't worth it enough. I have to be like training for a marathon or training for a race or going to practice and not letting my team down kind of thing for me to do it. Like I have to be held like accountable with something, but just having, like, for me, farming has been my workout right now, like getting a shovel and just.
But that's hard. That's hard work.
Some days it is. Some days I literally just crash out on my bed, feet on my floor before I have to go pick up my kids from school. Like I have like an hour and I'm like, I should wash the dishes. Nah.
Break. Don't be so hard on yourself. Take that break. You work hard.
Yeah, I know. I should get that tattooed on myself. Don't be so hard on yourself.
Right. We all are very hard on ourselves.
We are. How does Derby make you feel?
Strong. And even if I'm not strong compared to other people, it makes me feel good. The endorphins help my mental capacity. Is that a word? But it also makes me realize that I have fluctuated in weight a whole lot over the past, let's see, I played for like 13, so technically I'd be in year 15, I guess, if I'm doing the math right, even though some of those years I didn't actually play, you know, but knowing that I can go out there and hold my own against men, women, non-binary, you know, and feel just as strong as them and see them be stronger than me and be more have more muscle tone than me, but knowing I can still hang with them and be, right now I'm 185 pounds and a little flabby and not strong, like not like, you know, that, you know, muscly strong, but I'm right there with you and I am holding my own and I can knock you down, you know, so strong is going to be my best term for it.
Has roller derby ever broken your heart?
Yeah, a lot, actually, you know, just as I mentioned earlier, losing some friends because I was too selfish, breaking my body. Sometimes I've had several derby injuries, nothing major, but you know, minor concussions. I broke my knuckle once, dislocated fingers, you know, so physically, mentally, I've been off and on the board. I've been a fresh meat coach. I have been travel a bunch, left my kids a bunch when I probably didn't need to or shouldn't have, or I've missed a couple of birthdays because, you know, sorry, babe, but I've got roller derby. I will celebrate next week, you know, and that makes you sad. So yeah, there's been when people say blood, sweat, and tears, there's more tears for me. I'm very emotional, obviously, you've noticed. And so yeah, more tears than anything, but in the long run, knowing that, again, I wouldn't change any part of it ever, because we live and we learn from everything that we do.
Right. When I had my daughter, I remember I was just itching to skate again. I was captain of my team, and we had just gotten new girls, and they were young and they were fast and they were good, and I couldn't wait to skate with them. And I had her early. I had her early, and I had an emergency C-section. Well, I had already gotten tickets to go to RollerCon, and she was going to be like 3 months by the time RollerCon came around or whatever. And I thought I was going to be ready. I was super excited to go. The minute I was in Vegas, I felt like the worst mother ever. I missed her so bad. I was still postpartum. I didn't know that I was postpartum, but I just remember like I could not wait to go back. And I felt like when I got back home, she was like walking and making lunch, and she had just grown so much in that 2 days that I was gone. I was like, oh God, it was so hard to enjoy it and miss my kid. And like, yes, I probably shouldn't have done that. Was it one of the best derby experiences I had? Yes and no, like, but it was like, I mean, God, I got to see the greats. I got to volunteer, but I missed my baby girl and I felt horrible, and back then I was still drinking, and that didn't help. That didn't help because I just felt worse, and it was bad. It was hard. But yes, there's just this obsession with derby in the way that it makes you feel like about yourself, that I don't know if many people besides other skaters understand it, because like it causes breakups, it causes, like so many things. It is so powerful. It is so powerful, and it's beautiful, and it's scary at the same time, because what you would do for derby is insane, but it can be such a positive thing. It's just learning as you go what the boundaries need to be. And sometimes it takes years, and it took me years to have boundaries with roller derby. Because I would do anything for roller derby.
I don't even know if I've learned how to say no yet. But I think COVID has made that happen, because now that we're starting to kind of get back into things, and I want to be bossy, and I'm more of a follower than a leader, but in the leader aspects that I do have is I'm bossy about it, and I want to take it over, and I want to do it, and let me just do it because I'm going to do it right, but I'm not going to. It's letting other people learn, and you need to. I've been doing it for so long, and stepping up in times that somebody else could have done it, that if you don't give others the opportunity to learn and to do whatever, like whether it's running an event or running a practice or doing the fundraising, just learning how to step back and say no and let somebody else take it over. It's hard in some aspects, but now that everybody's ready to come back and everybody's ready to put the work in, it's time to let them do it, especially since I'm not coming back as a skater.
Right. Yeah, I've gotten to, when you can see your ex with another person and be like, good for them. Like that you're good, you healed. And I see my league in pictures, and it's opened up a lot more here. And we've done everything correctly, the state, the tiers and whatnot. So they're doing their thing and I'm still doing mine. And I can see them like doing TikToks and having a good time. And I see the social media where before I would be like, wow, I want to be there. Like, I felt like I was missing out, and now I'm all like, oh, that's cute. Swipe. And I'm like, I'm actually good with that. Like, I don't feel like I'm missing out. Like I said, again, I totally support them, but it's like I can actually see them with somebody else or them doing their own thing, and I'm not part of it, and I'm okay with it.
That's when you've really grown.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
And that's how I feel right now. I broke my ankle 6 months ago at the skate park, and all the people that I'd started with, we all there was a little small group of us that started together at the skate park last year, and I broke my ankle in March of this year. And then they've all gone on to do amazing skate park stuff. And at the beginning, I was real sad and I didn't want to see their videos. And I took myself out of the skate group and I was like, it just hurts too much. And now I'm
Yeah.
like, yeah, way to go. I'm so happy for the progress they're making. And I miss being a part of their group so much that I went back to the skate park yesterday for the first time. But I'm so happy for their success. And I have FOMO for real, but I just love that they are just doing amazing things and traveling, and they have a little community and bowls group now. And it's
Nice.
just been really fun to watch them grow while also not being a part of it. Because that bossy part of me got to take a step back. I know this isn't roller derby related, but they are a couple of my teammates, and it's just been nice to watch them grow this new little community and just be happy for them. So, and I feel like that could, transfer over to roller derby once we get back full force, is just watching these skaters grow, but being able to take a step back and not feel like I have to go skate and play games with them.
Right. No, and it's skater related, and that's what this is about. It's like my book starts about like skating for some reason has always made me feel good. Like whenever I've needed it, like not having a, well, who's had the best upbringing, right? But like having that, where I would get dropped off at the roller rink for the 2 sessions that they have, and like just feeling the wind, like the breeze, skating in circles has just always been super like trance-like for me, where it's been like meditation ever since I was little, even being 18 and living on my own in Dallas for a little while and feeling so homesick and just heartbroken. I was actually had like a heartbreak right before I moved to Dallas, and just being able to like not feel alone while I'm skating. And I don't know what skater energy god that is there, but that feeling, that embrace that I feel when I skate, and I can just be like, I don't know what it is, I cannot explain it, but when I am skating, nothing can touch me, nothing bothers me. I just can let it all go, and it's just almost, I've found it in swimming and running, but like just being on my skates and just being able to skate and listen to music or not listen to music, but just, it's like almost like it gives me that chance to just clear myself. I don't know, but I love it.
I feel like it's probably because when you put skates on your feet, you have to be so careful. Even if you're the best skater, it's putting skates on your feet is different than walking. So then your mind is probably focusing on the skating more than you probably realize. So it's probably freeing to your mind to have something to think about while doing the thing that you love, which is skating.
And it's the whoosh whoosh. Now that you're saying that, it's like the skate, the roll, the
The sound of wheels on a ground, whether it's asphalt or concrete or a sport track or anything like that, it's just the sound of wheels, and especially like the that's like the best sound to me anyway. It puts a good energy and a good vibe into you. I feel like everybody that skates probably can feel that in some way or another.
Have you and roller derby ever broken up?
No, because I've always been around in some sort. If we go back all the way to 2007, 2008, I played for, we did a couple exhibition bouts. We traveled and played one bout, had another maybe a couple of home games. But then I got pregnant with Benji. That's my baby. My first one's Liam. Not that they want their names out there, but they're mine and I own them. And I got pregnant with Benji. And so I took some time off after that. I would say I didn't go back to about 2010, and he was born in 2009. So I was gone for about a couple of years. I would say that was, if we consider that a derby breakup, because the league that I had been with had dissolved. And so when I came back, I was having 2 kids and a husband at the time that worked a bunch. It wasn't easy for me to get to the 45-minute practice. So I founded my own league locally with a couple of friends of mine, and that's the one that lasted for almost 10 years before we. Well, I guess it wouldn't have been 10 years, would it? Let's see. I think we became a league in 2000, like officially, legally in 2010, and then we merged in late 2017. So right under 8 years, I guess. But I still consider that my same team and same league because it's all almost the same people, just a different name, you know. And then of course with the other team that came in and merged with us, I just had new teammates. So other than that, couple of years after that second kid of mine was born, but I think I really still wanted to be a part of it. So it was an unofficial breakup, probably.
You just took a break. Like you guys just needed a break.
Yeah.
What has been your worst derby moment?
There's probably been a few. I'm
Same.
keep going back to probably the lost friendships at the beginning and just the hateful overtone of people, and learning how to move beyond that and learning that it's okay that people don't like you and it's okay if people are mad at you. And I think that's probably the hardest to learn, is that not everybody's going to like you, but we're all teammates as long as everybody respects you, as long as you're giving the same respect. I feel like that was real hard to learn. I tore my ACL in 2012. That sucked. I was out for about 6 months. I mean, and that was, hello kitty. We had I was only like in my second real season. And it was at the beginning of the season. So I feel like that was heartbreaking, but again, I didn't go anywhere. I still came, I still coached, I helped at games, I still traveled. But I've divorced during that time too. I was married and divorced in that time. He was actually a coach of ours at the very beginning, and he reffed a little bit even prior to that. So that was hard, is having a divorce and saying, you don't get derby, I do, so bye. That was a hard thing to do, but so much good has come out of it that the good outweighs the bad, 100%.
Yes. What was your best derby moment?
First time I won MVP. It's just, that's the first thing that comes off the top of my head. I know there's more. Yes. It was the second game I ever played, and it was in Oklahoma City, and I still have the trophy to this day. So, kitty. That was always good. I feel like that was probably, and that's the one that came to my head first. So we'll just stick with that one. But there's been many as well.
So we talked about what you were looking for in the beginning of the interview in roller derby. What did you find though?
Friends, family. I have, and it's not even my own teammates or even league mates. I have who I would consider family and really, or really good friends, that will be lifelong friends, that I've met from other leagues and other teams and other states. That friendship and camaraderie is probably the best feeling to have. Even when I'm done, they're still going to be around. They're still going to be my friends. They're still going to be my family. My derby wife, my girlfriend, my best friends. I have 2 best friends. She might as well be our derby wife, to be honest, because we are the 3 best friends. You know, it's friendship, family. I guess I just will keep repeating that because that's who I think about the most when it comes to what I found and what I'm going to have forever.
Yes. I'm so sorry. I don't know if you have a cat, but she loves to like jump on the keyboard, and she was supposed to be in the room. Let me put her back. I have 2 more questions and then we're done, but she's just going to keep going. She's going to say bye.
Oh, she's so cute though.
She's a rescue.
Oh, she's beautiful.
She loves me. I've never had an affectionate cat, so this is weird. I always get those like asshole cats.
Yeah, cats are dicks for sure.
Hold on 1 second.
That's fine.
My backdrop is like those dividers.
Oh yeah.
And so like behind me is my living room or whatever, but I just have like this little space that I like, yeah, COVID made us do some quirky things. I'm gonna do a podcast. Like
I've thought about it myself, but I'm not interesting enough and I have no things to talk about. So
well, and honestly, like I did think, and not that I was like, oh, this is the best thing ever, but like I did think like, I don't know. I thought because Derby is so vast that it would have like a bigger following in
yeah.
to some extent. But when I let that idea go and I realized what it was doing to help me and to
Right.
help the people that I was interviewing, that was the reward enough for me. You know what I mean? Like I was like, people really like enjoyed these questions and it really helped them to like talk about certain things. And I was like, this is why. This is why I needed to do this, you know? And so, and I don't, not caring who watched it anymore was like big, because knowing that just in having a space to hold for someone to, so that they could give somebody the opportunity to tell to tell their story was just bigger than who was watching. You know what I mean? To be able to share space with somebody that I would have never met, that I would have never met, like had I not done this. So like, if anything, it's for me and you. It's for me and whoever interviews. And people do watch them, you know, they do. And I feel like maybe, I mean, it makes me sad that people don't watch, only because I feel like they would love it.
Yeah.
You know, but you can't do that. So I'm hoping like if anything, if the documentary is shared enough and people do watch it, even if it's 10 years from now, like, oh wow, what is this? You know, like, oh, the pandemic when Derby was on halt, you know what I mean? Like these were skaters that were actually there going through it, you know, and that it would just be like an archive, you know, like later.
We're all missing the same thing. And it's not just sitting here feeling like I've lost something. We've all been sitting here waiting for that to come back.
Yes, yeah. And what all over the world, because I have people from all over the country, all over the world, and we're all saying the same things, missing the same thing. And this is what we're doing during this time. We were on Zoom talking about how much we love roller derby and what it's done for us and how we're coping with it, which is my next question. How have you been coping with the pandemic and not having derby at the moment?
At the beginning, we all thought it wouldn't be too long. So at the beginning, I was just focusing on my fitness and my eating. And it's like, oh, maybe a couple weeks, maybe a couple of months, and I'm going to feel better than ever. And then I didn't feel better than ever. And then I missed my friends and I missed skating with my friends. But keeping my league tried to stay active when it came to the business side of it for as long as we possibly could. But once we realized it just wasn't in the cards for us to come back yet, we just put everything on halt, which means we didn't communicate with one another as much. I feel like if it wasn't for Facebook, I wouldn't know what half these people were doing anymore. So I feel like I lost a lot of that friendship again, lost some connections. And then just feeling like I really wanted to be on skates as much as possible. So that's why a lot of us started going to the skate park. And, but then after my ankle break, it took me a while to even get back on skates because I was just so scared of my therapist had me just set my skates next to me every day until I was ready to put them on. Mm-hmm. And then when I was ready to put them on, it was just to sit there with them. And then it was standing up in them. So missing the skating for that few months was real hard too. I'm ready to see my people. I'm ready to, in which I know we can't do yet. I know that most of us are vaccinated, but I want to hug my friends, but I really can't do that yet either when it comes to formal practices. But just missing people, and that which I keep talking about, the camaraderie. I can't wait for that to come back. I think I've missed that the most. Our events, our internal league events, I've missed a whole bunch. We used to get together a lot and host events for ourselves, to keep that, to keep our relationships as a unit, whether it be just the team or the league as a whole. Making sure our officials are involved. We do team stuff sometimes, but making sure our entire league, our volunteers, our officials, our NSOs, all them. I'm ready to get back to that. I feel like I miss those people more than I have missed anybody ever, probably. So.
Do you have any words of encouragement for other skaters who are watching?
A couple of words. Let's just play on the pandemic part here is, we'll be back soon. We will all be back soon. Other leagues are taking a little bit longer to come back, but things will be normal-ish again, of what we can call normal. We are all feeling the same despair when it comes to wanting to go back, and watching other leagues go back makes me feel it's promising to know that it's coming back and we're ready for it. And we're going to be better than ever. Another words of encouragement for anybody that hasn't started playing roller derby and are wanting to, or thinking about it, or are ready to and haven't done it yet. It's a hobby, and it doesn't have to take over your whole life unless you want it to. I think that's where some people don't differentiate what's the words I'm looking for? I felt like I had to put all my energy into roller derby, and I forgot about my kids or myself. So put into it what you mentally and physically can, and it's okay to take a step back when you need time to yourself, or don't want to go to a practice, or can't make an event, and don't feel bad about it. It's okay. That it's but it's one of the best things you could ever do, anyway, for me anyway. So just keep your head up and know that no matter what, just focus on a goal, and when you meet it, get a new goal, and if you don't meet it, it's okay. You have the support.
Yes. And speaking of community, my beautiful viewers and family, I was just recently in a car accident, and I've never met Daisy until today. And you want to talk about family. I had a GoFundMe, and, long lost cousins. Like, she was willing to help without even meeting me. So if you're not in a derby league, or it's just something you're interested in and you are looking for friendship and family, this is a great place to start, because you will find family and sisterhood and brotherhood. And if you're not with a league like that already, and you're on a league, then it might not be a healthy league. Not that everybody has to do everything for everybody, but you will find that, and what she's talking about today. So please make sure that is a safe place. We have a lot of skaters who are in therapy, who are looking for medicine in roller derby. And so it should be somewhere that you can find that. And if it's causing you more stress, there's good days and there's bad days in derby, don't get me wrong. But if it's causing you more strife than it is helping you, then please find something that will be more beneficial to you. Hopefully there's a league that's close by. That might be like a little bit of a drive, but you shouldn't feel bullied. You shouldn't feel alone. You should be happy and have that support. So I'm very grateful for Daisy for being on this episode and for helping me in my personal life as well. And I thank my viewers for watching, our viewers for watching my Derby romance. And I hope this helped you as much as it helps us. I also want to thank Olivia and Mom McCartney for helping me with all sorts of stuff on this podcast. And there's anything else you want to add?
Just thanks for having me. It was great to finally see your face in person. Well, you know, in as much person you can get. And I just wish you the best and wish your viewers the best, and just keep doing this, because like you said, if it's for you, if it's for me, that's the most important. And so just keep on keeping on. I mean, you're doing great. I'm so happy for you.
Thank you. And we're excited for your league to start skating again soon.
Thank you so much.